Please stop everything that you're doing for a moment and let us have this conversation. Look at this circle over here. Let me divide it into 4 equal parts. And this represents the 4 major quarters of your life. How is that? If we start from birth, that is 0 years, then 20 years old at this point, and 40 years old upper, then 60 years old here, and finally 80 years at the point where we started from. So if you're between 0 and 20 years old, then you're supposed to be in this quarter. If you are between 20 and 40, you belong in this quarter over here. And for those on the 4th floor and 5th floor, you belong to this quarter over here. And then those that are above 60 to 80 belong in this quarter here. May you live long, 100 plus, but for the purposes of learning, let's work with these 4 main quarters. So it is okay to place your 90-year-old self in this quarter here as well. Stay with me because this is going to bring you a very major financial awakening that will shift the rest of your life. All right, let us take a look one at a time. Between 0 to 20, this is where life begins. And in most cases, this is the time when someone is in school or going through school and enjoying the freedom of life in most cases, whereby all your expenses are being taken care of by someone else, probably a parent or guardian. I know there are children out here who are hustling by this age already, but as we all know, this is the age where you're supposed to be you're legally supposed to be taken care of and enjoy being a baby. Some are usually lucky that before the time they get out of this quarter, they already have a source of income, whether they are employed or have a business. And for some, they already have some good trust fund or starting point. Yeah, they're starting at a better place into life. Let us look at the 2nd quarter. This is for those who are between 20 and 40, and this is where life begins to happen in most cases. Most of you have already finished basic education and are getting into finalizing college or uni, or are already through with all this. At this stage, most of you are getting your first job or business, and this is the same place where people start getting Mr. or Miss Right and start their families as well. Probably getting children by God's grace and already having the next generation in the 1st quarter over here. What you went through in that quarter, now they are the ones going through. So this is usually where some buy their first car, others build their own homes, and generally so many things foundational to life and finances take place in this quarter right here. Now let us move to the 3rd quarter, which is between 40 and 60. By this quarter, if you started your family early, your kids are already going through the 1st quarter. Some are jumping to the 2nd quarter, by the way. And at this stage, you should have already set up systems or businesses or investments which are now maturing and getting ready to retire. Some of you are already grandparents at this stage, but also there are those who are starting at this point. Then finally, there is this last quarter here, and that is 60 plus. Let me not just limit it to 80, but at least we are talking about 60 plus. This is that age where you are retired or are less active in being financially productive. This is when you are supposed to sit down and enjoy your latter days. Your children by now should be young adults already taking care of their offspring as well. And this is that point where you quite literally reap what you sowed. If you took time to build systems across finances, family, social, religious, in short, in each and every area of life, this is when you will sit down and enjoy. And it is also unfortunately the time that if you took for granted any of these areas, you will be reaping the consequences of the same. In short, if this was the circle of life, then we can divide it into 2 sections, and we will have this upper section and the lower section. And from the things we've already looked at, this means that the lower section is where financial productivity is happening, and the section above is financially inactive in terms of your productivity. Those that are in the 1st quarter are supposed to be taken care of by someone else, and the same applies to the ones in the last quarter. But unfortunately, very few are taking care of of their older people, because the right way it is supposed to work is by having systems work for you. And these are the things like passive income from investments, but you do not expect to engage in active income at this particular point, or full-time employment, although life has forced many to still look for jobs after 60, 65 and so on. Well, then this brings me to the most important question. Where are you in this circle? If you're in the first quarter, then you are lucky. You still have 2 more quarters to plan for your last quarter while taking care of those coming after you. If you're 32, then you should be at this point here. And that means that you have already eaten 12 years of your second quarter. And that means that you only have this section left to put your financial life in order. If you are at 44, then you are at this point, and that means that you have already consumed 24 years of your productive life, and that means that you have 16 years left to put your financial life in order as well. So the question once again, in this circle, where are you currently? Remember, the farther you move to these other quarters, the more responsibility you have for yourself in this final quarter, and for those that are coming behind you who are in the first quarter. The day I bumped into this illustration, I started taking life seriously. It awakens you to the reality that you do not have a lot of time, to keep procrastinating about decisions that you should be making about your finances, saving, investment, learning a new skill to help you earn more, changing your job if it is not putting you in the right direction towards stability later on. You start realizing that you are either building your systems for retirement right now, or saving and investing as much as possible, because a time is coming when you will not be productive or active as you are right now. I totally understand that economy at times is very hard, but unfortunately there is no one coming to rescue you. Not even the government or a better president. Even in the first world countries, there are still homeless people in the streets. And if you're out there, confirm in the comment section below. There are broke people living in shanties. So for others, they are busy blaming their parents, their neighbors, their country, their leaders, and you're not helping yourself or your children after you. This is a wake-up call to seize the moment. If you have to learn, take time and start part-time sales. If you have to learn a skill online to get an extra income in your pocket so that you have money to invest for your future and for your children, it doesn't matter how much time you have lost to this moment or how much time you have left, but it is better than nothing to seize the moment and take advantage of the days that are ahead of you, that you are still active. Others out here think that your children will be your pension plan, but that's not the case. Don't you see how difficult it is for you to take care of your own parents? And what makes you think that it is going to be any easy for your children to take care of you? So please, make sure you start doing something today, and don't think that you have all the time in the world, because one day you're going to wake up and you will realize that you are completely out of time if you are yet to capture this reality. So open yourself to learning about finances and invest in it, because that is what is going to help you take charge of your tomorrow. Don't just save, don't just invest, but also learn to protect what you save and invest. And for those that are family people or breadwinners, or you have young champions looking up to you, it's even more important for you to start taking action to protect them and their financial future. Remember, it is not a must that you will make it to the last quarter. So now, how do you expect them to go through quarter one or quarter two without you? You can buy time, and thank God there are ways to do that now. Make sure you're following and you're subscribed, because we shall be learning more on how to win this money game together. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.